Okay, today we're going to be looking at some of the alternative subtraction strategies that we've been working with in class. And this is in addition to the traditional algorithm that we're working with as well. And the reason behind this is so that kiddos are focusing on the concept and the value of the numbers instead of just memorizing a formula. Okay, our first one is going to be partial differences, and so that is going to be subtracting in parts. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the numbers in its you can kind of think of it as its expanded form. So I have 4 hundreds, I have 0 tens, and I have 2 ones. And I'm going to subtract 100, 6 tens, and 7 ones. Okay, and one of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing is that our kiddos are putting that bigger number first, because that means that it is the whole and this is the part that's being subtracted from it. So 400 minus 100 is where we're going to start here with our hundreds, and that's going to give me 300. And then I come to my first I guess challenge. You could kind of think of it as I have 0 here and I'm trying to subtract 60. And you need to make sure that the kiddos don't accidentally, like their brain flip it and just say 60 minus 0 tens, because they're going to want to do that and then put a 6 down here. And you got to make sure that they know that they're going to have to regroup, because that's a common mistake that they want to make. So what they're going to do is they're going to send 100 over because of our base 10 number system. So I have 200 left. Now I have 100. I'm going to subtract 6 tens, so that gives me 4 tens. I come up here and I have the same thing where I have 2 minus 7, so I have to regroup. This time I'm going to regroup out of my tens because of our base 10 number system. And this will leave me with 3 tens, and this will give me 12 to subtract 7 from, and that will give 5. And so that builds this nice number of 235. Okay, now a little bit of a different approach to that would be that I could also choose to add up. And you can choose to add up either on a number line or without. And I'm going to first show you on a number line. So I would start with my bigger number, my smallest number, and I'm going to work up to my bigger number. And so my difference is going to be built up here. And I can choose to start in any increment that I want. Usually we choose to start with a big jump. And so here, I would probably make a nice jump of 200, just because that gets me a lot of my jump out of the way. Although it could be different for the kiddos depending on how they look at it. Okay, and then from here, this would land me at 367. And then kiddos may choose to go ahead and add just 3, because we're looking at tens a lot, and so they would say that 3 and that 7 would be nicer if it was a tens number here. And so I have 370, and then from here they may choose to go, okay, you know what, I could go ahead and I could add 30, and that would give me to 400, and they know that a lot as well, just because I have the 3 tens and the 7 tens here. Then that would give me 400, and so I would just have to add 2 to get to 402. Then I would go back and I would add up 200 plus 3 plus 30 plus 2. I see that this is the 5, that's 30, so that gives me 235, excuse me, 235 there. And then this is that other way to look at that. If you didn't want to do it on a number line, the kiddos could choose to do it this way. And this is a little bit of a different jump, but what I've done is I started with 167, I jumped 200 to get me to 367. From here I went ahead and added 40, because maybe they thought the 6 and the 4, that would be nice if I go ahead and jump. But that gives me to 407. So then I have 407 minus 5. I had to go and subtract some because I was too much over. So I had to subtract 5, and that gives me to 402. So then they would add this up by saying 200 plus 40 minus 5 equals 235. Okay, and then our last one is a really cool one, and this is a concept by Greg Tang, a little math guru, and this is the concept called backing up. And backing up is really, really helpful when you have a double zero number here that you don't want to have to regroup across zeros. So what you can do is you can think that on a number line, if I have the difference from 136 to 500, like in the problem, then what I really could think of is that this space here is really the same amount of space. The difference is the same if I backed it up a little bit. But instead what I get is 499 minus 135, which is so much friendlier to work with because I don't have to regroup. And so the concept of backing up shows them that the difference is going to be the same. I can just choose to work with easier numbers. And that's one of the major things that we're doing all these alternative strategies for, is so that I can see that I can be flexible with my thinking and not do just one way all the time.